welcome to lesson 9, part 2. Today we're talking about compound interest. So here's your equation. You have A equals P times 1 plus R over N, all raised to the NT. This is N times T. Okay, so here's what you need to know. P is going to be your principal or your initial amount. R is going to be your rate, once again as a decimal, so any percent to a decimal. N is the number of times compounded per year. And then T will be your time. It also needs to make sure it's in years. Last but not least, A is going to be your total amount. So I went through and kind of color coordinated everything, so it made it a little bit easier. Okay, so we just need to make sure that you understand what then means and then how to just simplify it. So I originally am going to deposit $12,000 into an account, P, my initial amount. I'm going to do 8% interest. And you're compounding quarterly, and I'm doing this over a span of 5 years. So when we get this started, that means I'm trying to solve for A. I'm trying to figure out the total amount that's invested within this account, okay? So I'm going to deposit $12,000. That is going to be my P. I'm doing this at a rate of 8%. You need to move that decimal over 2 to the left, so that means I'm going to have 0.08. And it says N. N is going to be the number of times it's compounded per year. So your N will change based off of the word that comes after compounded. Okay, so we're compounding quarterly. That means you're going to split your year into 4 different times because quarterly, think of a dollar. You have 4 quarters in a dollar. Anything like that quarterly means you're going to split into 4s. So it means my N will be 4. So that means the N up here will also be 4. And then my T is 5, which means I'm going to multiply it by 5. Now we're going to take this and we're going to plug it into our calculator just as you see it, and that will give me the total amount invested. So to get started, we have $12,000, and we will do 1 plus, and I will do alpha x or alpha y equals to get that fraction button to pop up, but we'll have 0.08 divided by 4. We need to make sure that we close that parenthesis, and then we will raise it to the 4 times 5. Which will give me $17,831.37 because we are trying to go through and we're talking about money. That means we're rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay, last but not least, we need to state what that means. So this is the total amount Laura will have after 5 years. So this whole thing is my answer. Okay, let's try number 6. It says Jack took out a 6-year loan for $25,000 to purchase a boat at a 4.5% interest rate. If the interest is compounded monthly, what will he have paid total over the course of the loan? So usually whenever you take out a loan for something, you don't just pay that amount, you have to pay more than that. So let's go through and figure out what everything is. So to get started, I bought a boat for $25,000. That's my initial or principal amount. It'll be 1 plus my rate of 4.5. You have to take your 4.5 and move it over to the left. So it means it'll be 0.045. I am compounding monthly. So how many months are there in a year? Which in this case, N will be 12. So my 12 will go here as well. And I'm doing this for a 6-year loan, so I'll multiply that by 6. Now you'll just plug this whole thing into your calculator to get our answer. All right, so on the calculator, we'll do our 25,000. We'll do 1 plus, and then alpha x to get our fraction. We'll do 0.045 divided by 12. Whoops. 12. And we raise it to the 12 times 5. 6, Okay, so the total investment will be $32,732.58. So this is the total amount Jack will have paid over the loan. You could say 6-year loan if you wanted to. Whoops. And there you go. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. All right, here you go. This is just a scribble out because I misspelled loan. Okay, one more like this. Make sure we got it. It says an investment account pays 3.9% interest compounded semi-annually. If $4,000 is invested in the account, how much will the balance be after 12 years? All right, so we know my principal amount is $4,000. We'll do 1 plus my interest rate. So you have your 3.9, you move it over to the left, which would be 0.039. We are compounding semi-annually, which means you're going to split your year into 2. That means n will be 2. And I'll do 2 times my year of 12. When you plug that into the calculator, that will give me a balance of $6,358.48. So this will be my total balance in the account after 12 years. All right, so last but not least, I put stars by numbers 8 and 9 because they're slightly different from the previous ones because they want to know how much interest was paid on these accounts. So I don't care what the total amount was versus the initial amount. I wanted to know how much extra money I paid in the meantime while trying to pay off this amount of whatever it is. So your initial setup will be the same in terms of, I originally deposited $300. I have a rate of 0.8%. Now I know that's already a decimal, however, it's a percent, so you still need to move that decimal over 2 to the left. So 1, 2, and I'll get 0.008. I'm compounding bi-monthly, which means I'm going to do this twice a month. So n would have to be 24. So I'll put this 24, and then it'll be 24 times my 10 years. Okay, when you plug this in the calculator, that means after 20 years, there's $324.98 in the account. In order to go through and figure out your interest, so I'll put a star by this, your interest is equal to the total amount you have minus the principal amount that you originally had, and that's how much interest you paid in that time. Okay, so in this case, my P was 300. My A is 324.98. So to figure out my interest, I will take my 324.98 and I will subtract my 300, which means the interest is $24.98. So this is the amount of interest paid. Okay, so let's do one more like that to make sure you get it. All right, so I originally am investing $750 into this account. I have an interest of 3%, which is 0.03. I'm compounding weekly, and if you know, there are 52 weeks in a year, so that will be my denominator. And I'll have my 52 weeks times my 20 years, which is a lot. Okay, that means the amount that I have now is $1,366.35. Remember, we're rounding to 2 decimal places because that's what our cents rounds to. To find my interest, I'll take my final amount of $1,366.35 and I'll subtract my principal amount of $750, which means my interest is equal to 616. I added too many ones. $616.35. So this would be amount of interest paid. And there you have it. That's the second part of lesson 9. If you have any questions, please let me know.